so excited to be here. It's a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege.
Yes, and back at you, sir. And to all of us that get to be with you today, thank you for being on the Pamela Show. Hey, John!
Hello, Pamela. Great to be here. Super excited. How are you doing?
Oh, it is so exciting. Well, everybody, this is John Tallarico. Hi, and welcome back to the Pamela Show, where we learn and we grow together. I am so excited to continue this amazing series on the women of the Power Voice, powerful women that are gracing this stage. I tell you, they're taking me to school. I'm learning so much in every episode, and I know you are too. And so the power continues today. We have two more amazing women, part of this anthology, which is a collaboration. This book, Women of the Power Voice, all of these women that are authors, we have two that I consider to be my friends as well as co-laborers in the field. With us today, Jasbeen and Vanessa. Woo! Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here, Pamela.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. We're excited too.
It is so exciting to have you both here. I've been thinking about it a good chunk of the morning today, going, man, I can't wait to see what's going to go down today because you ladies know how to bring it. So let's jump in. And Vanessa, let's start with you. Tell us all, who are you?
Well, that's a heavy question these days, but I will say that I am a child of the Most High, and He has allowed me to have an amazing life for the last 15 years. I've been married to a wonderful, loving, and supportive man, and we have 3 beautiful children together. And, raising them has been a good chunk of who I am. And so I am a founder of a nonprofit organization that focuses on normalizing breastfeeding in public, out of public, in their own lives, and around the world. And I'm also a photographer who has been documenting these families across the country and soon to be international. And I've been speaking and teaching and just doing whatever I can to help moms who are really looking for the opportunity to connect and learn and grow in new motherhood.
Wow, that keeps you busy. It keeps you very busy. But it also shows that the expertise you have in these fields and how much you can bring to the table. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Vanessa, so much. And Jasbeen, okay, your turn. Tell us, who are you?
I will say that I am also a mother of 2 beautiful children, Justin and Jasmine, and they're the apple of my eye. As far as my career and my dreams and ambitions and goals, I have had a wonderful career in public service. I worked in the largest pension fund system in the nation, CalPERS, for 22 years, serving the public, providing customer service and coaching team members to do the same. And it was just such a wonderful environment. I took a break to care for my children who are now in 2 different schools, as well as to pursue now writing. And I was had the honor and privilege to be involved in this very first project that Vanessa and I share, is the Women of the Power Voice anthology.
Amazing. And I want to add that you ladies are #1 international best-selling authors. And you add that to your list of accomplishments. Woo! That's great. I'm with some powerhouse moms today. Awesome. All right, so let's go on to the next question. Let's start with you, Jasbeen. Can you tell us what do these words mean to you? Women of the power voice.
Women of the Power Voice is it's a global sisterhood where we are free to be and free to, we're empowered, and we're all of us are helping to fix each other's crowns, help us to elevate to a higher level of our calling. And it's just such a wonderful space and a connection that we have that is just so amazing. It's a gift. It seriously is a gift. And it emerged from our involvement with Mr. Les Brown's Power Voice program.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that. Yes, Power Voice program, Power Voice system, Mr. Les Brown, Mr. John Tallarico.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody that is in the collaboration has been through that system, which is amazing, that beautiful family community. But I love how you called this a global sisterhood.
Yep.
That's so true, isn't it? And so powerful all over the world.
Yep.
Powerful stuff. Okay, Vanessa, how about you? What do those words mean to you? Women of the power voice.
You know, it's funny, when we had our kind of celebration of hitting #1 international bestseller last week, I really started to see the greater vision of the one who gives us the power voice, right? We know that it's his power voice that we are communicating through and speaking to so many women. And so that power voice, I believe, that has united us and really brought us together with all of our different stories of trauma, of overcoming difficulty and difficult, overwhelming situations. We've been able to come together and unite in this sisterhood where we don't let anyone fall down, don't let anyone get left behind, but we pick each other up, we keep each other going, we come alongside those who need the extra help, and we make sure to not just pour into the people who are reading the book, right, but into each other so that we can continue to do this work. And so the power voice for me is really that collective voice that comes from our creator that we're able to give to everyone. And we even do our own affirmations, right? So we're also giving that voice to ourselves.
Oh, I love that. Giving the voice to ourselves. That is really drives it home because we have to start inside before we can go outside.
Yes.
Right. And so that is huge, huge, huge. And absolutely our power voice. Yes, we can say that we have sat at the knee of Les Brown, a legendary Les Brown. We have the privilege of calling him a mentor, right? A personal mentor. But that power voice has been gifted to us from above. And this is a collaboration of people that realize that and walk in that as a sisterhood. I love it. Boy, are we blessed. You know, I hear you say these things and I just kind of sit back and I go, yeah, that's it. It's so amazing and so, so true. Okay, so let's continue on now. Vanessa, here is the next question for you. Here comes the Oprah question. What is your intention when it comes to the calling of your life, the calling on your life, and that mingling of that with this new anthology? What is your intention?
My intention is really to be a cry in the wilderness. I have this documentary film that I'm working on. It's called Zion's Cry, Return of the Remnant. And I was given this title more than 12 years ago. And it's been something that has been stirring in my spirit for so long. And I just, keep going to my Father in heaven and praying and asking, okay, this is what you want me to do. I know that you want me to do it. So I'm writing down all the things that I need to focus on, but then also really trying to see how that fits into who I already am. And I've started to see that this has kind of been a cycle in my life where I go through something incredibly difficult and I hit rock bottom and I cry out to the Most High and he picks me up and carries me through it. And it's that moment, right, where we can sit in that darkness, sit in that despair, or we can decide, right? We can make a decision to get up We can make a decision to rise above whatever it is that's trying to hold us back or hold us down. And so I really believe that in my own life, the cry, that moment of crying out, it's an encompassing feeling over everything that I've ever experienced in my lifetime, in my career, in raising my children, and my story that I share in the Women of Power Voice book.
Wow. I wrote this down. You said the cry in the wilderness. I mean, of course, we have scripture from the good book on that, but that gives such a visual, such a picture. Could you say again the name of the documentary that you're working on?
It's Zion's Cry, Return of the Remnant.
Oh, woo! Now, being that you are very involved helping women and mothers, is this also that type of a documentary? I mean, with a title like that, whatever it's going to be is powerful. What's the theme of that documentary?
So the theme is really about going through this section of time and space that we live in where we have this pandemic, right? And everyone was really taken aback by how we were separated from community, right? And many people try to turn to different aspects of life to fill that emptiness.
Mm.
And I believe that some of us, we grabbed a hold of that cry to our creator, and we really found our footing on that rock that is immovable, right? And so I believe that this documentary is really for anyone who watches it with intention. This documentary is for the person who could be feeling lost right now, could be feeling down and out, could be feeling like, they have nothing left to accomplish or achieve. And knowing that if they just cry out, there is so much more, right? But coming to that place in ourselves can be difficult. So the documentary is really exploring people who went through some type of a transformational experience during the pandemic and how they use that resilience to move forward and move upward. And how did they go higher? How did they elevate from the experiences that they dealt with during this time?
Wow, that's amazing. And connecting to intention. See, so here Vanessa has this grand calling on her life, is involved in this anthology, and now she's stepping into the next with a documentary. That is just so cool. I'm so glad that you shared that. So we'll be watching for that. That's so much fun. Jasbeen, how about you? What is your intention?
I have to applaud my colleague here, Vanessa. That is so amazing. And what I realized is the times that I cried out, Jesus, take the wheel. It's kind of that was my cry out to the Lord, is to take over, help me, show me the way, show me the path. So that's amazing, Vanessa. That's going to empower so many people in so many ways. So my intention, and just like my sister here, my intention is to help people find that spark within them, that lost voice. So just to peel away some of the layers, to share a little bit about my history, is for a long time I lost my voice, I lost my spark, I succumbed to my external circumstances, and I let I gave up any thought process on what matters to me, or what I want to do with my life. I just kind of resorted to just being a spectator in my life. And it didn't hit me until last year, where I see my two beautiful children, and I'm not here, I'm not present. And I'm just realized that I need to take off the mask. I need to understand what it is that I have become, which I have become a combination of other people's voices, and I lost my own voice. And to be truly authentic takes courage. It takes faith, and it takes a leap of faith. And so I And it takes the support and a network of resources. And it's understanding that you need to give yourself permission. You have to give yourself that key. I was gonna cry. So my intention is through my story and the steps that I kind of outlined in the anthology is to help people to show a little pathway of how they can start to discover that key that can give them their voice back. So that was my intention of the anthology, and in the future to continue to do that in various platforms, various channels, however God calls me to serve in whatever channel that is. That's my intention, is to make a difference in many people's lives as I possibly can.
Wow, 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 wow. That is so amazing. And something that you said that I just want to circle back to. You talked about finding your spark.
Yeah.
Finding your spark. You talked about that. And then because if you find your spark, you find your lost voice. But then you even went further and you talked about being present. And that this connection of being present, aware, being present in your life will lead you to your voice.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that, it was just so powerful. And that so many, well, we'll say women today, but anybody, if they don't know their voice, they haven't found their spark. And if they don't have their spark, it's because they're not present.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. Yeah. See, these ladies are dropping these gold nuggets today. If you don't have this out, I hope that you get this out because, oh my goodness. Okay, let's continue on. And Vanessa, I want to ask you this next question. What drove you to join this anthology? And then also, can you just peel back a little sneak peek for us about your chapter?
Of course, of course. So coming into the anthology, I had just come out. I was about a month and a half out from dealing with a very difficult bout with coronavirus. I chose not to go to the hospital. I stayed home. My husband cared for me, and it was a scary time. My children literally to this day say, "Mom, you almost died." Okay. And it was a moment where I realized that I allowed fear to overcome me. There were some big things. I mean, you've heard this documentary that I'm planning. When I started really thinking about digging my heels in, I got so afraid. I was scared of what I might not be able to accomplish, or what if I, didn't do it the right way, and all of these things that had to go, deep down inside of me and really dig deep and try to understand about myself. And so in that moment, when I was given the opportunity to write this book, I had just come out of all of that. And I had even come out of trying to do too much. And I finally slowed down, and it was just like, I became present. Like Jasbeen said, that's just such a golden nugget. I became present, and I realized I can't do more right now than just homeschool my children and write. And I'm going to focus on my writing. And it was literally the next day, Pamela, you got on the phone with me and you were like, "I just want to tell you about this amazing opportunity." And I was blown away. I was like, "God, you're so good. Thank you so much for just hearing again my cry out," because it was one of those moments again. I was doing too much. I was exhausted. I could hardly breathe. I mean, there were so many things I was dealing with. And I was at the point where I was like, I'm giving it all to you again. I'm surrendering. I'm crying out because I know you're going to answer my cry. And the next day, it was right there in front of me. And my goal for this year, prior to Power Voice with Les Brown, prior to Thinking into Results with John Tallarico, my goal was to become an author by the end of this year. And by September, it was to become a best-selling author. And now look how amazing he is. He does exceedingly above all that we can ask for or imagine. International, #1, international best-selling author. So it's just been such a blessing. This community has blessed my life in so many ways, and I'm forever grateful.
Oh my gosh, that is so empowering. Something that you said there was surrender.
Yes.
And some people have a wrong connotation about that. That doesn't mean lay down and let life knock you over. It is actually an uplifting thing, isn't it, Vanessa? When you can surrender to someone who knows more than you know and trust the process. I just wanted to bring that up and say that's a big point that you're making, and that for you, you had to surrender before the anthology showed up. And we're not here to say she wouldn't have had the anthology had she not surrendered, but she might not have been able to embrace it or be able to even move through it and have the effect that it has had and having and going to have if she hadn't surrendered. So surrender is a big deal. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Jasbeen, how about you? What led you to the anthology? Tell us a little about that.
What led me to do the anthology was this amazing opportunity to share my journey with people in a way that they can see themselves through my story, and to be able to make a positive impact in their own lives. So move from spectator to an active participant in their lives. And the wonderful thing about being involved in this anthology was the fact that, as I venture out to this new journey of sharing myself, sharing what I've gone through, how wonderful to have this support network of these amazing women who are also wanting to do the same. And so leveraging each other's strength and expertise and their own stories, it was just such a nice environment where we all could help each other get to that, share our story to be able to impact people's lives. So that was just such a nice way for me, God's gift to allow me to start on this new path. And so what follows, maybe my personal memoir and of course my own series of children's books, but this was a great path forward, a beginning of my journey of becoming an author.
Oh my gosh. So this was a launching pad.
Yeah.
It really was, but it was a safe launching pad because of the community and the love and the sisterhood. It wasn't Jasbeen against the world or launching out into the deep all by yourself. There was and is the sisterhood. So as I'm hearing what you ladies are saying, I'm hearing Jasbeen say, okay, so now I'm launching out with my own personal story, my own memoir, my story, and all these children's books. So you're a children's author. That's amazing. And then we have over here this amazing woman, Vanessa, who says, hey, I surrendered and the doors opened and off I'm running. And that's what I picture you, Vanessa, just running into that purpose, to that next place. But both of you continue to come back to the power of the power voice, right? And this unity and this sisterhood. Oh my gosh, being present, being aware, being willing to surrender. And these are all things that they're going to be talking about in their chapters. So Jasbeen, as we start to wind down now, is there anything else that you didn't get to share, anything about your chapter that you want to say that you didn't? And then also, how do the people viewing and listening today, how do they follow you or purchase this book from you?
Oh, yeah, you can visit my website, jasbeeninspires.com, and then you can look at the information in the description. But the only thing that I'll have to say is, life, there's difficulties everywhere, there's challenges everywhere, but that's life. And that's the beauty of living. When we're not experiencing anything, then we're not living. And so those challenges are here to make us stronger, to help us to level, to make a bigger impact in the world. So if we succumb to our circumstances, we're not using the gift of life that God gave us. And so just resolve to be you, resolve to be successful, resolve to do a greater good and to serve and to impact, to have an impact in the world. So that's all. Women empowerment.
Okay, so resolve. That's what I'm walking away with from that last statement, is resolve to success.
Yes.
Woo! Be fully persuaded. Perfect. Thank you, Jasbeen. Okay, Vanessa, how about you? Any last thoughts? And then also, how do people follow you or get the book from you?
Well, they can follow me at Vanessa_Simmons on Instagram, or go to my website, which is Vanessa-Simmons.com. I'm really excited to share about my chapter just a little bit. So what you're going to really get out of this is how to overcome fear with the power of tunnel vision. And so I go into the entire process that I've used throughout the course of my life to really figure out, what am I getting stuck on? What's holding me back? And then push through that terror barrier, push through the fear, the doubt, the disappointment, right? Because you can't let someone else's disapproval of you become your disappointment. You have to push through that, right? But you have to make that decision. And so what you're going to walk away with is how to get in alignment, getting your decision to line up with your vision for your life so that you can pursue it with purpose and with a greater sense of self. So that is my big takeaway. Don't quit, don't give up on yourself. Don't settle for anything less than you are worthy of. You are a child of the Creator. You are worthy of everything from here to the moon. And just keep pushing through, fight through the fear, and you'll get there. You'll get to your goals and your dreams.
I love that. You are from here to the moon. You are worthy of it. I just love that. Like that's such a beautiful imagery, isn't it? To think about it, whatever that is, from here to the moon, it is supposed to be here for you. Yes. Beautiful, ladies. And so my wrapping this up and putting a bow on it, Vanessa, you said tunnel vision. Yes. And I think of that, like you put that on the horse so the horse can't see, right? So that he can't be distracted by what's going on over here and over here. So tunnel vision. And that tunnel vision really is to the moon, isn't it? Like to that high place that we're ascending to. And then to be resolved to get there. Woo! Wow, you ladies brought the fire here today. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much, Jasbeen. It has been such an honor and a privilege to have you both on the Pamela Show with me today. I've learned and I've grown a lot. Thank you. So we're going to have these ladies back. Once that documentary is released, Vanessa's coming back. Yeah. Once that first book is ready to go, those, especially, all of them, your book and your children's books, but I have this thing with kids. So I want you back on for those. That'll be awesome. All right, y'all. Thank you for coming again to the Pamela Show. It's amazing to have you here. Help us to continue to share these stories, because these women deserve to have their stories go viral, right? Like around and around the world. Let's do it. And so does the entire book of the Women of the Power Voice. So as Les Brown says, click it, like it, share it. Like it and share it. Send this story around the world. Let the world know. Let them know that these stories are needed, right? Let's communicate that message to the masses. So as always, you are here on purpose, with a purpose, by design, and not by default. So go on out there and be the salt and the light everywhere you go. We'll see you next time on the Pamela Show. Bye.